In 1825, when I was all of 3 years old, I started to see and go through firsthand the pain and agony of slavery. Even years later, I couldn't get the terrible things that I saw and heard out of my mind, like women being beaten, families, including my own, being separated, and the great sadness that all this caused. My two sisters were taken away from us forever. These sounds and those pictures in my mind, they have never left me. Also around this time, I suffered an injury that would touch me for the rest of my life. I was at a store and I got between an overseer and a slave who was in a disagreement. The overseer was chasing after the slave and had called him out in the store. I tried to protect the slave by blocking the path of the overseer, but just then he threw a heavy lead weight at the slave who was running away, and it hit me in the head instead of the slave. Hurt me pretty bad. Despite being hurt bad, I was sent back to work. And when I couldn't work, I was sent back. Miss Susan didn't have to pay much for me, being only 7 years old. I was so small that when I went to work for Miss Susan, that I had to sit on the floor to be able to safely hold the baby. Besides caring for the baby, I had to do the cleaning and other household chores. Since I was so young, I hadn't yet learned how to do those kinds of chores. My mistress, Miss Susan, didn't teach me how to clean, but she sure did get mad when I didn't do a good job. Luckily, Miss Susan's sister took pity on me and taught me how to clean and do other chores. I was so tired. I'd spend the day doing household chores, then spend the night rocking the baby so it wouldn't cry and wake up the master and the mistress of the house. Now, if that baby did cry, Miss Susan would whoop me with the whip she kept under her pillow. One day, I was whooped 5 times before breakfast. The scars from those whippings would remain with me till I got grown. Finally, when I was weak and nearly starved, they returned me to my mama, who nursed me back to health. Later, in 1835, when I was 12 years old, the masters had pretty much figured out that I wasn't cut out for household chores. Instead, they had me working outside, doing work that was usually done by men, such as working in a flax patch. I had to walk through the field with plants that was twice as tall as me and stiff stalks that would scratch my legs as I pulled each plant up by the roots. When I wasn't working in the flax fields, I was shucking corn, weeding the wheat fields, or shoveling manure. Other times, I would lift heavy barrels of flour into carts. I did like this work more than the jobs inside the house.